Okay, I think we're live here. We're going to do a little bit of a discussion talking about the the Oval Office speech that President Trump had tonight, January 8th, 2019. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to start on discussing it. So let me just pull this up here. This is going to be short and sweet. This is just my reaction to it. I'm not going to show the whole speech. You can find it here. I happen to find it on Washington Post. So let's just watch a little bit of it here. And I thought I'd fast forward enough. Let's just watch the beginning of it. Again, I'm discussing this just in chat right now, just doing a video of it to talk about it. There he is.
My fellow Americans, tonight I am speaking to you because there is a growing humanitarian and security crisis at our southern border. Every day, Customs and Border Patrol agents encounter thousands of illegal immigrants trying to enter our country. We are out of space to hold them, and we have no way to promptly return them back home to their country. America proudly welcomes millions of lawful immigrants who enrich our society and contribute to our nation. But all Americans are hurt by uncontrolled illegal migration. It strains public resources and drives down jobs and wages. Among those hardest hit are African Americans and Hispanic Americans. Our southern border is a pipeline for vast quantities of illegal drugs, including meth, heroin, cocaine, and fentanyl. Every week, 300 of our citizens are killed by heroin alone, 90% of which floods across from our southern border.
Okay, we can talk a little bit more about that later on if we want to, or you can watch the rest of it. Throughout the speech, one of the things he talks about is crime.
Whose loved ones were stolen by illegal immigration.
He goes on to talk more about some crime.
Held the hands of the weeping mothers and embraced the grief-stricken fathers. So sad.
What's up, Blue Gorillas?
Terrible. I will never forget the pain in their eyes, the tremble in their voices, and the sadness gripping their souls. How much more American blood must we shed before Congress does its job?
Well, we could talk for days on everything he says. I'm sure. I know that over the course of the next month, every news station is probably going to go nuts talking about President Trump's Oval Office speech. But one of the things I really care about, and I think, oh no, I reclosed it. No! There we go. So one of the things I want to talk about is just the idea of crime. I want to start, this is going to be short and sweet. I don't disagree that illegal migration or immigration is a concern that needs to be addressed, and the country needs resources to handle the influx of people coming in illegally. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that that's not an issue. And anyone who says, well, that's not a big problem, well, I don't have the facts to justify that decision or that discussion. What I do want to talk about real quick, because this is what happened. I watched most of it. I skipped over a couple of minutes at the very beginning, but I caught most of it. And one of the things I took away was, okay, are we really seeing this huge trend in illegal immigration causing this influx of crime? Because that is always the justification people use. I have discussions with people all the time, and they say the same thing. So here's what I did. I went to my friend Google. Check it out. This is my friend Google. And I said, Google, what percentage of crimes are committed by illegal immigrants? And I went to the second link down. Of course, I'm not going to go to some opinion poll on any website, regardless. So I want to take a look here at immigration and crime. This is from the Oxford Research Encyclopedia. I should probably pull my chat. Oh, thanks. I like the sweater too. Yeah, I'm a big fan. All right, so I'm going to pull a chat over here. I'll address it if anyone actually watches it, but I'm not too worried about it. I really just want to get this out there. I'm not going to go over the entire document. I read through most of this, and I was so intrigued that this is why I put a video. I wanted to do a little video. and I'm only streaming it because it's a lot easier. So this right here is why I wanted to do a video. Was this report, because they cite a bunch of sources. In fact, I'm going to put this in the description of the video. Feel free to read through this at your leisure. It's actually really interesting to read. So it talks about, you have the summary of the introduction, whatever. One of the things they talk about in this study, as they're talking about immigration numbers and patterns, and some of the most populous states are California, Texas, Florida, New York, and Illinois, and they also have the highest number of immigrants. And they cite a source here. California, New York, Texas, Florida account for 60% of the foreign-born population. Okay, so take that, again, think of that mathematically. California, New York, Texas, and Florida. Those 4 states account for 60% of the foreign-born population in our country. Okay? California, New York, Texas, and Florida. Yeah, I'm going to repeat it 3 times. Again, I'm not trying to convince anybody here. This is, again, my opinion on this particular nugget. Is our crime being driven by people who have come here illegally? Now, this doesn't say foreign-born population entered illegally. This is just foreign-born population. Again, this is a report from Oxford Research Encyclopedia of Criminology and Criminal Justice. Okay, so let's go down here. There's the numbers and patterns, crime rate numbers. I was reading through here, and of course they have a little bit of info. According to the FBI's Uniform Crime Report, arrests decreased 20% between 2005 and 2015. So arrests are going down. Okay. Violent crime arrests decreased 0.2%. Property crime, okay. Well, you can read this all. Okay, so the states with the highest reported crime rates, reported crime rates were Louisiana, Alabama, Alaska, Tennessee, Nevada, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Arkansas, Delaware, and Missouri, according to a report. It says the states with the highest violent and property crime rates neither are the most populous nor has the largest number of immigrants. That's what this report says. The states with the highest violent and property crime rates are not the most populous, and they're not the states with the most foreign-born, I don't want to say citizens, but occupants, okay? Now, that doesn't disprove a point. I'm just pointing that out. I thought that was really interesting. I thought, okay. Then it talks about the incarceration rate. And it talks about the number decreased. Here we go. The Bureau of Justice Statistics reported that between 2000 and 2008, the population of foreign-born or non-U.S. citizen housed in all U.S. jails was between 6 and 9% of all detainees. Somewhere between 6 to 9% of all detainees were foreign-born or non-U.S. citizens. People incarcerated decreased 2%. Okay, and I don't want to get into the discussion of the justice system and the prison system specifically is for profit, and I don't want to get into the minority and targeting. I'm not going to get in that discussion. What I'm trying to get at is, are our prisons filled with illegal immigrants for violent crimes, or are they committing the majority of the violent crimes? Crime and immigration research. It's important when I went through this. I'm trying to remember if there's anything to talk about for this video. Immigration, social disorganization, and social control. So this was, I read this article through. You have to go to this link and read it through for yourself. They cite all of these reports. You can click on the link and it'll take you down to the bottom where you can look at the reports. Very interesting. Some of them are from 2004, 2003. Some of them are more current. There was one on, here we go, violent crime and immigration. This one caught my eye. This was my tipping point. I want to talk about this. Okay, some people are concerned immigrants are violent, engaged in particular types of violent crime. That's a generalized statement. Okay, so this group studied drug and homicide crime in Miami, Florida, and San Diego, California, to determine if there's a relationship between violent crime and immigration. Although both cities have a large Hispanic immigration population, they found that foreign-born persons were not responsible for the community's drug and violent crime. The increase in crime was associated with second-generation youth who were more likely to be involved in homicides related to drug offending in both communities. Segregated assimilation among second-generation youth can explain criminal patterns, since Mexican-American youth in poor neighborhoods, despite cultural assimilation, committed violent crimes. If, however, immigrant families had economic stability, like e.g. jobs, is what it says here, their offspring were not likely to engage in drug-related homicides. This other group decided to analyze the relationship between homicide and immigration in San Diego during periods of major increases in the foreign-born population. So they looked at 1980 to 2000. So you have these people who did it in 2004. These guys published a report in 2010 looking at this data. It means they took 10 years to go over the data. They tested the immigrant paradox. Despite social disorganization, theories prediction that people living in socially disorganized neighborhoods will have higher crime rates, blah, 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 blah. Okay. While the researchers found that socially disorganized neighborhoods experienced increases in homicides, they also found that when communities had an influx of immigrants, there were fewer homicides. Pause for dramatic effect. And there's a couple other studies. They looked in Chicago, number of homicides decreased where there were large populations of recent immigrants. And you need to look at this article. So, yeah. You have a good one, Blue Gorilla. You take care. I just wanted to get this video out there. I'm sure someone. Now, here's the deal. I know someone's going to see this and say, "I'm pro-Trump." So that's my thought on this report. There are plenty of other reports, but I thought this one was well backed. There are sources to cite. I don't believe that this has any sort of bias on it. Okay, that is why I'm talking about this. I truly believe that if you're going to look anything up on the internet, you need to double check your sources. And checking your sources, in my opinion, is probably one of the greatest things you can do. All right, so here's my thought. I do not disagree that we should address illegal migration or people entering the country illegally. I don't disagree with anybody, whether it be our president or anyone else, who says that we should address problems with people that are here illegally committing any sort of crime. That's a problem. I think crime is a problem, period. My takeaway from reading this report, seeing all the debates that are going on, like on Facebook, where everybody seems to be a lawyer and an expert in everything legal or immigration, my thought is that there's really no point in us focusing on this wall. This is not the wall itself is not our highest priority. We definitely need to focus on illegal immigration. We absolutely do. I'm not going to argue that point. But after looking at this report from Oxford Research Encyclopedia, it's under Oxford Research Encyclopedia's Criminology and Criminal Justice, Immigration and Crime. Francis Bernat. It was published in April of 2017. After reading this report with all these sources cited, I don't think this is not the biggest problem plaguing our country right now. That's just, again, that's my opinion on it, based on the report and based on some of the other problems affecting, well, a lot of people. This is not the highest priority. But that doesn't answer the question, should the USA really be talking about a wall right now? Let me preface what I'm about to say with, not that I don't support President Trump. I don't like President Trump. As a person, as a leader, he has not been a president that I feel like has had my best interests at heart. I'm just some nobody from Kansas, whatever. That being said, I don't want to say I don't support President Trump, because I'm not some guy like, yeah, I'm going to go burn the flag. No, I'm not like that. My thought is that when Trump was running for president, among all the other crazy things he said, he promised people that he was going to focus on this wall, that this was his priority. He said He was going to make this a priority for people, and that was his platform. Now, I really don't think he's been either honest or well educated on the facts as far as whether most of our crime comes from illegal immigrants. I would love to tear apart what he said in the speech that we listened to just a snippet of a little bit ago. But the man told us that's what he was going to do. And whether you voted for him or not or whatever, he's in office right now. And I'm not saying you have to respect it because you might still disagree with it, but we knew this was coming. It's not like he out of nowhere said, hey, I'm going to build a wall. The guy told us the whole time, among other crazy shit, he told us that he was going to build a wall. And even if it may not be the most pressing issue in the country, again, looking back to that report, he promised he was going to do it. And it is definitely something, immigration and illegal migration as a whole is a problem. And by a problem, I mean some countries, you can be killed on sight for entering illegally into the country. And there are people entering the country illegally. And regardless of the reason, it goes back to what I call the Aladdin law. It's that discussion of, at the beginning of Aladdin's stealing bread so he can eat because he's a street rat, and then he gives the bread to a little kid. It's still stealing. I get that times are tough, and you may be seeking refuge, or you may be trying to look after your family. But we don't live in a society where we just let things happen because we're like, oh, yeah, that sucks. You know what? Yeah, you broke your leg. Don't come to work for a month, even though you're out of your sick leave holiday, whatever. There are policies that have to be followed. So to sum all of this junk up that I'm just kind of rambling about now, yes, I really think the USA should be talking about a wall right now. Not because it's the most pressing issue in my mind, not because I think it's going to solve all of our problems, but it's something that the president said he was going to be doing when he got into office. And do I think a wall is going to fix everything? Absolutely not. But I'd like to see Vincere, nearly 12% of murder sentences are credited to illegal immigrants, as well as 20% of kidnapping sentences and 16% of drug trafficking sentences. That's what I think that the wall may not be the best solution for it, but go back to the previous presidency. The Affordable Care Act, which a lot of people were upset about. The premise was that everybody should have an opportunity to get insurance. You shouldn't be gouged on the price based on your history. And every employer needs to give you an opportunity or a way to be insured so that if something happens to you, you can be taken care of. I read through half of the Affordable Care Act when I worked in a news organization when it was first being put out there. Good God, that was not a fun read. The premise was addressing a problem where, thousands of Americans were not able to receive adequate health care, whether it was determined that it wasn't an emergency care service or they couldn't get insured because of something that happened a while ago. All these things, right? A lot of people didn't agree with that. But the intent was to address a larger problem to help Americans. I don't like President Trump. I don't trust most of what he says. But he promised the wall. And I truly believe, even though I think he's probably got some backhanded motive for it, this is a solution that is a wedge in the pie of a large problem that needs to be addressed. And why can't we talk about it? Because even though it may not be the most important step in everyone's mind, it's still going toward a cause that matters, or it needs addressed. So please check out the link here. I'll probably get a bunch of thumbs downs either because I rambled in circles, or people thought, well, I thought he was going to say Trump was wrong and we shouldn't talk about it. And now we knew this was coming. And I get it. The wall may not be the best thing. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. We are, and that's something we're taught in school. We are a melting pot. And yeah, I could go off on how we have so many problems as far as acceptance, segregation, discrimination, bigotry at all levels, not just in poverty-stricken areas. But again, to address the issue, the question that I was wanting to talk about tonight, which I've gone on longer than I anticipated, should we be talking about a wall right now? Absolutely. Because if we know there's a problem and someone comes up with a solution, even if you don't think that solution is the greatest thing, the best step to take, if it will address the problem and help, and you know that it will help in some regard, I don't think it hurts to talk about it. And the fact that some people are so quick to even shut down the discussion of the wall, it's kind of ludicrous, because there is a problem right here. There is a problem in our country. The statistics, I mean, even a report that said that illegal migrants are not responsible for growing crime rates, it will help. So, yeah, I get it. Pinzeri, Atmori. Thanks for watching. If you struggled through all that, I know I was rambling quite a bit. I could probably go on a couple more soapboxes, but I don't want to. I really just wanted to show that report, put my 2 cents out there because I can. So have a wonderful day. Please go out of your way, do something nice for a stranger tomorrow. I know I usually just play video games. I'm a little out of my element with it, but at the same time, one, I'm an American, proud American. 2, I'm a working adult. I have a full-time job. I have a family, and I'm friends with a lot of people who have family members who are here illegally, and I'm friends with a lot of people who are here legally but may not have been born in this country. It affects all of us, this discussion, the government shutdown, etc. So thank you so much for watching. Take care. I will see you later. Bye-bye.